that was a lot. That was, yeah. I didn't want to interrupt at any point. That was good.
Sorry.
I felt like that was amazing. And
I hope someone
I
gets that
had
on where
about
they took it to a Twitter, honey, or in a TikTok. That felt like I felt engaged and my brain was working.
that was working great. I have about 50 follow-up questions, so I'm just going to settle on one with that. A lot of work that I do, speaking of TikTok, is focus on TikTok, and I do feel like exactly what you said, that people are kind of caught in silos and they don't even know it, especially in a place like TikTok where it's sort of intentionally built where you're just getting fed things and you don't actually know where they came from. Do you see any sort of, and this is a huge question, but a solution or a way to go about social media I think the word education kept coming up when you were talking. So to educate yourself on topics that perhaps your feeds aren't proactively giving you, something that you have to proactively do. Is there a solution to that for people of any generation?
Well, I do think that seeking out information off of social media through like venerated news sources such as the Washington Post or whatever journalists that you follow. There's a lot of journalists on Twitter that you can follow. I read a lot of Vice. I feel like I read a lot of Slate. I read a lot of New York Times. I mean, there's a lot of different news. I also even will watch conservative news sometimes to see what they are saying. So we all need to be able to take information and process it. I think that TikTok and Instagram can be valuable places to get information, but I don't think that they're places where I take that information full stop without vetting it and fact checking it for myself. I also know that for my podcast, Getting Curious, from interviewing public information experts, that a lot of time on social media, if you're seeing a story that gives you an intense and immediate emotional reaction, you could be being exposed to misinformation. So a lot of times I think about that, and then I go and I will vet the source or vet the statistic and realize that maybe I have been exposed to something that's been like skewed by an influencer journalist. So there's a difference between like an influencer journalist and like a journalist on social media. So it's important to like understand as a consumer of information how to distinguish between the two. Um, so yeah, I think that what I was really trying to say though with every generation is that in the previous question, and then to loop back to this one, is that let's get off TikTok and like let's talk to your neighbor, let's talk to your mom, your dad, your uncle, let's talk to people who maybe you haven't spoken to in a while. Maybe TikTok isn't the best place to do it. Maybe it's like you go old school and you go over back to that, the artist formerly known as Facebook, and you make a little post on there. That's a good way for you to reach out to people that are a little bit older that
I've
maybe
heard
live
of it.
more on Facebook than on TikTok,
Yeah.
or you can just reach out to your family. You could do a group message with your family. You could do a group message, and if you're a person of faith-based people are really dragging a lot of stuff through the mud right now for queer people, trans people. Also, climate change denial is a huge issue in communities of faith. So if you're a person of faith who's really passionate about climate action, or your God and Jesus like loving all people, I don't know, and like not wanting to judge them and like investigate their families for child abuse if there's like a gender nonconforming kid, I don't know, like you could get more involved. So maybe it's like about utilizing TikTok, but maybe not that being your end all be all, like doing a both and, like more in real life and on social is what I would say that we need to do more of.